So today I'd like to talk about what I'm modeling, and this is just a real crude, rudimentary map of the track that runs up through the Mount Rainier woods. And what I'm modeling is a section from LB, crossing the Squally Bridge, then to Mineral and the Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad shops, and then I go beyond the Mineral down to a town called Morton. I'm modeling as if the Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad is running from LB through Mineral and then to Morton. And I'm also modeling Milwaukee Road as of 1980, which is when they went bankrupt. But we're continuing on as if there's still a viable operation here on the Milwaukee Mountain Division. So what I'd like to do is show you a footprint of my layout room, and then from there we're going to look at both some real prototype pictures of specific points of interest, and then also of the models that I've recreated on my layout. And of course we'll do a complete layout tour along with everything else. So stay tuned for that. So here's a rough sketch of the layout room, so you get a basic idea what the footprint is. We're running 2 levels. The black is first level, and the second level is in this blue. So we have a room that's roughly 25 feet long, and then this end is about 22, 23 foot long, and this side is actually tapered. I didn't draw it that way, it was just easier, but it's only about 16 feet over here, so this actually angles at an angle like this. But anyway, the bottom half, represented in the black, has the mineral shops, Mineral itself, and then we go around under the Morton Y, and then we hit the little town of LB. And there's points of interest in each one of these corners, etc., which I'll show in the video as we move along. Now, the second level is reached by a 3-turn helix, and we then go from divide around through the mountain areas and then into the town of Morton with the Y in here, the Y being the main focus of the operations up here in Morton. And then we stem off down this way above LB, and we have a small logging operation that feeds the railroad with log cars. So that's my footprint, and now we'll move on to prototypical photos of the buildings that I have recreated on my HO scale layout, and also comparison shots of those buildings that exist on my layout. So the first photo that we're going to look at is of the LB Church, and this sits kind of kitty corner from the LB train station, and actually it sits across the tracks, but it's a very quaint, unique little church. It was built around the 1800s, well preserved. There's actually a observation platform on the right hand side, so you can look inside and see actually what it was like to go to church during the 1800s. From there, we're going to take a look at what I have recreated on my layout. I've also added the parking lot that supports the cars for those who are going on the Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad excursion, and also for the church. Turned out pretty well, I think. I think there's a wedding going on, and I think we're just going to zoom in on this and see what's taking place. So let's take a look. So let's pan over and see exactly what's going on over here. Why, by golly, it sure is a wedding. Yep. Yeah, it looks like we have a happy groom and a happy bride. From here, we're going to take a look at the LB station. And first I'll show you the prototype that was reconstructed in 2008. And then I'll show you the model that I created for my HO layout. This is a brand new station, and it was, as I said, was reconstructed in 2008. It is definitely the pride and joy of the Mountaineer Scenic Railroad operations. They did a very, very nice job. It is their central spot for loading and offloading of the tourists that go on up to the Mountaineer Scenic Railroad shops in Mineral. So it is a ticket office, and it's also a souvenir shop, and they have some restrooms here for the public as well. So it's well done, and a nice structure to be added to their tourist attraction. So now we're going to pan in or fade into what I have created on the Mountaineer Scenic Railroad HO scale layout. I flipped the station around here so you could see the front, which actually faces towards the railroad tracks, and you never see it. We only see the back side, or the street side of the LB station. It's not a true representation of what's there today, but it's as close as I could come without doing a complete scratch build. Maybe someday I'll do that, but for right now, this will have to do. Here in a second, I'm going to show you the back side, and then we're going to pan over to the left where I have a defunct Heisler locomotive, just like in the prototype, sitting next to the station. So here she is. This is the defunct Heisler locomotive. Actually, this is an old Rivari OC Heisler, and the motor burned out in it, so it made a perfect pick for me to use on the Mountaineer Scenic Railroad. The prototype is pretty much no more than a shell. They've taken all the important piping and fittings off of it. The under drive lines are gone, and I don't even think it has a headlight on it anymore. But it's been sitting there for many years, and it gives people a chance to crawl up in the cab of a locomotive and take some family pictures, or just take a picture of the locomotive. Okay, from here we're going to look at the restaurant cars, and this is a real simple operation that I'm showing, a lot more simplistic than the prototype photos that I'm going to show you. And in the center between these two cars, I need to build kind of like a doghouse so people can walk into the cars. I haven't done that yet. Something else that needs to be done. So we're just scanning down here, and I'm showing you the two cars, and then I'm going to show you the prototype photos and what exists there at LB today. The first car is a lounge car, or the bar car if you want to call it that. And then we move on to a baggage car converted into a short order cook car. They serve burgers there and fries and hot dogs. And then they have a place for you to eat outside. And then the third photo is showing the rest of the restaurant dinner cars. And there's a caboose meshed in there, and there's a walkway between that and the lounge car, and it's a real hodgepodge. From here we're going to look at the Hobo Inn, take a quick look at that, and then we're going to move on to other parts of the layout. The Hobo Inn. This is quite a feat for private enterprise to do, but we have several. I think there's about 10 cabooses up here that are located at the end of the restaurant cars, And now there's various types. There's some Milwaukee ones here and some Santa Fe, and I think there's a Pennsylvania one as well. And they're all rentable. And so, again, I had to compromise on my layout, and I have only 3 caboose cars representing the Hobo Inn, plus a little parking lot and a little mini scene, which we'll show here shortly. So my Hobo Inn consists of 3 cabooses with a mini scene in front of it, and we have an MP Milwaukee and a Great Northern caboose. This is all I had room for. So this concludes the video for my HO layout part 1, and we will continue on with part 2 and show several other interesting aspects on my HO layout. Thank you for watching.